All right, so we're doing a little bit of a different podcast today. Dr. Pierce is not here with us, even though it's called Coffee with Doc. Today's going to be Coffee with Amanda. Or it would be better a glass of wine.
Yes. Yes, definitely.
But I'm here with a good friend of mine, Amy, and Amy is also a patient here at Ageless Forever. I really wanted to have her here with us to talk a little bit about her experience with the clinic and with myself too. She works with me in nutrition as well. So every time that we talk to each other in my office, I always think to myself, I would love to capture this moment and capture all the things that she's saying because it's so inspirational. And having so many women that I see here in the clinic, I just wish they had a little bit of your energy too and your motivation. So that's why she's here with us. And we're going to talk a little bit about all the things that you've been experiencing since starting here with us. So do you mind sharing a little bit about you and what you do?
Sure, yes, and thank you for having me.
Of course.
So, my name's Amy. I'm 35 days away from my 54th birthday.
Wow.
So I'll be turning...
Happy birthday
Thank
already.
you.
I'm
Yes.
sure I'm going to see you before.
Yes,
but-
yes. So I'll be turning 54 in 35 days and just really started to get into fitness and kind of self-prioritizing myself probably back in 2013, 2014.
Okay.
And did my first bodybuilding competition in 2015.
Amazing.
So what I experienced was I knew what my goal was, but I wasn't sure how to get there. So I just became I reached out to resources. I hired a trainer. I just became invested in seeking and trying to reach that goal. And then once that happened, now there's no other way. Like fitness is part of my,
Became your lifestyle.
became my lifestyle.
That's amazing.
So,
And you're also a nurse.
yes, I'm a nurse, 35 years. This year is my 35th year of nursing. So on my end, I do hospice and end-of-life care. So I see on the medical side the chronic diseases and things about what you're doing at 30 and 40 and 50 is going to showcase and reflect when you're 60, 70, and 80. So I also am just passionate about health and nutrition and wellness and taking care of ourselves so that, we all get one life here.
Right.
So how do we make it the best?
Yeah,
And try to make some choices to maybe
Absolutely.
prevent or lower your risk of having some of these chronic diseases.
So when I'm speaking to a younger demographic that comes here, I give them kind of the same analogy that I hear very often nowadays. Remember, I don't know if it happened to you, but it happened to me. I remember about 10 years ago, a friend of mine was chatting away about Bitcoin. And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, whatever, And he said, just invest $100 a month. And I'm sure in 10 years from now, you're going to look back and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I did it. Well, I did not. But looking at what's going on right now,
Sure.
I would be so happy looking at my crypto wallet or whatever they call it. So I joke with, a lot of young kids that come here, and unfortunately, I don't see them how a 23, 25-year-old should be looking at their labs and seeing very low testosterone for female and male due to all the things that they're doing, not only food, but also a different, I guess, career path. I remember like in my age, I was going to school. Yes, I was stressed, but I see now a lot of 23, 24 really working a full-time job, But anyway, so I joke with them and I say, so you are neat like 10 years ago. I'm telling you, it's time right now. You
Take
have
action.
to take action right now because in 10 years, you're going to look back and you're going to think, why didn't I? And you're going to have not just say that you can invest now or you can't change your life now, but it would be a little bit difficult because there are so many things that we're going to have to attack. We're going to have to change habits. We're going to reverse sometimes issues with their gut, which I see that a lot too. We're going to have to introduce the motivation to go to the gym and introduce basic movements of the human body that they're not doing anymore because they are sedentary. So this is your time,
Right.
and it kind of clicks because everybody speaks the language of crypto or investing, and they say, yeah, I get it. No, I know what you're saying. So I'm glad that you teach that too. And you're seeing that too, right? Because you are taking care of people who didn't take care of themselves, right?
Yes, right.
What would you say are the main things that you see nowadays? Is this something related to becoming obese or not having mobility?
Yeah. So a lot of, again, probably overweight. So a lot of heart conditions. If you have smoking history. So again, having some bad chronic habits, well, ultimately you're going to have some COPD, emphysema, so compromised lung function. So when you have that affects your mobility. You don't have the lung resources to be walking and doing some of those activities that you want. And then also up and down stairs. How many grandparents struggle with taking care of their grandchildren because of their lack of mobility, or the excess weight is a barrier for them to really enjoy their grandchildren.
Right. Yeah. And there are a lot of things that I see too. Like, for example, I see a lot of people here from Metro. And in situations like that, I feel that not only everybody should be healthy for their family, for others, and see it for something bigger than themselves, just like what you said, for their grandkids but in their cases, it should be a must to be extremely fit to perform their duties to serve and protect, right? So I think that it's that kind of situation where when you're taking the plane and they say you have to put the oxygen first on yourself so you can help others. If you're not healthy, how are you going to take care of everything around you, right?
For sure.
So I forget sometimes that you actually did a bodybuilding competition. Tell me a little bit more about that. Do you feel like you perhaps started that to kind of feel that you had a due date? Like, okay, so I have a goal, so that's going to force me to get into it? Or you did it because you really love it?
Yeah. So I actually, and I think I shared this with you the last time we chatted. So I actually had some tragedy in my life happen in 2014 and 2015. And what ultimately happened was the gym became my therapy.
Yeah.
So, and it was just really a bucket list for me. I just wanted to challenge myself to see, like, could I get on stage? Could I start from point A and get to point, Z and be able to finish it? So for me, it was just a bucket list. It was a challenge for me. And ultimately it helped me through the grief and just some of the trauma. I had lost my mom to pancreatic cancer. I was going through a divorce. I lost my grandmother within 6 months of losing my mom. She had renal cell carcinoma. So the gym kind of became my sanctuary, my safe place, and I could just, everything that I was feeling, I could just put it there at the gym. And then what happens is and I tell my friends this all the time, when you feel so good, why do you want to stop? So then that gym and my lifestyle and trying to eat clean and be conscientious. And again, people come up to me and nobody can believe that I'm literally days away from 54.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like I'm 54 because again, I feel so, I feel good.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So the bodybuilding competition just kind of happened to fall into place with everything else in my life that, had happened.
That's amazing. And do you also feel that going to the gym and feeling comfortable and understanding that space, because it is a male predominant space, do you feel that it helps you navigating that energy outside too, where, they joke that this is a man's world?
Yeah.
And it is, in a sense. Sometimes with women, we kind of, say, no, it's not, but it is in a way. So do you feel that it helps you navigate that?
Absolutely. But again, so the gym was a very uncomfortable place for me. So I hired a trainer. I wanted to be able to tap into the resources and ask for help. And you have to learn you have to be okay being uncomfortable. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Because once I got the education and I got the training, then the gym became comfortable for me. I felt like I could come in and be productive and not be, shy away from waiting for a guy to finish a set so that I could get in or,
Right.
and navigate. And sometimes you just have to come and just show up for yourself, and you have to put all the other things in the gym that are going on. You feel uncomfortable, you feel intimidated. Always someone's going to look better than you, right? But just come in and just worry about, yourself. What are your goals for that day? What's your target? What do you want to work on,
Right.
And then it just becomes this day-to-day progression, and then you start to see results, and you starting to build some muscle or losing fat, whatever your goals may be. But once you see the result, it's a motivating factor to keep you, coming back.
And do you see a support in your gym community too?
Very much so. So I, where I go now, I feel like I have a little community.
Yeah.
So I have different women that kind of come up to me and ask me, and I'm very giving. My thing is, I feel that we should never be against each other. Us women should be banding together, and whatever we can do to help someone be a little better, then give. If it's just complimenting them. Some of the new people now, it's the new year. I'll go up to them and I'll say, I'm so glad you're here. Right? Just a little bit of acknowledgement that they've showed up. That may make them get out of bed the next day.
Right.
So we have to protect our tribe. We have to protect our tribe. And we just have we have to share and be able to give a little bit to the women that are just starting. They feel intimidated. They're not secure.
I love that. Yeah. It's interesting you say that, because the other day there were a few women in the gym and they had those tripods and cameras everywhere, and I got a little bit bothered because I said I needed to use that machine, and she's going with the camera up and down, and she looked at me, she gave me the biggest smile, like she's kind of like so cute and excited to be there, and I was like, oh, okay. I kind of felt a little like, you know what, just I'll use another machine.
Yeah.
I love what you said. We have to protect our tribe and understand that it's kind of a different era right now, and that's what people are into. If that's what keeps them motivated to keep a log, and the log is a video log, so be it.
Sure.
Sometimes it gets a little overwhelming.
It does.
Not gonna lie.
Yes.
But I don't want to be that kind of woman that's looking and, cranky and feeling I'm the professional bodybuilder here, know? No, I don't want to be that. I want to protect the tribe, and support the women that's starting too. And because they're starting in a different era where that's how they do things, then it is.
Sure. Yeah.
But talk to me a little bit about your experience with hormonal replacement therapy.
Yeah, so it's been life-changing for me. So in 2016, I had a total hysterectomy, which of course wiped out all of my hormone.
Yeah.
So I came here, I was not feeling good. There was some sluggish metabolism. So a recommendation by a friend to come here. And so that's how I met all you guys. I think I started here. It was either 2021 or 2022. I have to look back, but I've been here for 2 or 3 years. And then between you and then Carrie, the nurse practitioner, I came in, and of course you guys make it it's easy to talk to you, very comfortable. And I just shared, this is what I'm experiencing. And then with your recommendations and your medical oversight, the lab monitoring, I've been able to, again, continue to fulfill my goals, where building muscle, and it's so important for us. And women have this thing that we're going to be men. We're never going to be men. We don't have the genetic makeup to ever be men. We're going to be women, but the muscle mass is going to protect our bones. There's so many benefits of having lean muscle.
Yes.
There's so many benefits.
Absolutely. And you're seeing now with the people you work with now, the lack of muscle, it's what is preventing them to move around.
Correct.
Right? Alone.
Yes.
So you're seeing that and seeing the importance of investing it now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's been wonderful. So, I take the testosterone, all the other oral supplements that you guys, have recommended. And again, but you have to put in the work. So again, there's a lot of misunderstandings that you can just take things, but then sit on the couch. Well, that's not going to work. Right. So you've got to, it's a partnership with all entities that you're dealing with.
Yes.
Right. And if you're doing your part, then the other, entities are going to work, and then you're going to, again, start to see some results and, just
Absolutely.
and then you get a confidence. There's something about, again, I'm such an advocate for women. I want them to, have enough value. And, we're typically, we're caregivers, we're caretakers. But when did it say that we have to be the priority? We have to be number one, again, for us to be able to do everything else. So just making the commitment to show up every day for yourself. And whatever that may be, if it's the gym, getting education, leaving a toxic marriage, whatever that is, just becoming so determined that you're going to make a statement that you're going to show up for yourself.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you mind sharing a little bit of the creation of the physical aspect in the gym builds also a lot of character? With that character, do you find difficulty in relationships with men? Because that is a difference between being a woman who is a little bit more submissive and the other ones were a little bit more in control.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying the word submissive in a sense of not being a caring woman. No. But there is a level of character that's built through the hardships of the physical too.
Correct.
Do you see that in your relationships and being difficult when men don't quite understand that energy?
I think so a little bit. So, I've been divorced for 10 years, have dated on and off. And it is a little challenging because a lot of men find strong, independent, motivated, self-driven women a little intimidating because, again, their ego or just their general sense that they're here and the woman is here. So when you come across someone that is, powerful, independent, driven, focused, financially, literally taking care of themselves, we're not dependent upon anyone, it can make the dating scene a little challenging. For sure.
Do you also think that it's very important that he is on a fitness routine journey as well?
Sure. Because I think it's great. That's a common denominator, right? If he has fitness as a priority, I have fitness as a priority. So you've already got a common foundation for growth, for building.
Right.
Right.
Because it would be difficult if you're at home and you're actually looking forward to go walk around the park or go hiking, go to the gym and cook your meals and have fun cooking your fitness, meals and recipes. And he's sitting on the couch just watching football and drinking beer.
Yes.
And bothered the fact that you're living again for the gym.
Right. Or he's on his phone ordering the Uber Eats to the house. Right. Yeah, you can't. So yeah, it would be challenging.
Yes,
for sure.
Okay.
But also saying that, like, I've also met so there are some wonderful men out there, and the ones that are fitness focused and fitness mindset, they're so respectful because they understand what it takes. Like, there's no fitness fairy that comes to us in the middle of the night and swings her magical wand and we just wake up like this, right? Yeah. So people that have a fitness mindset, there's a respect that is given to us, because they understand the time, the discipline, what it takes to maintain that, especially as we get older, right? To be able to maintain that.
And speaking about that, I find it very interesting. For example, in my sport, right, it's obvious that there are some differences in the dosage of hormones that we take to be that muscular and lean on stage for that specific event or competition. And very often we hear people say, well, that's the X or Y and Z that you were taking. I wish it was that easy. I would take it and things would happen. Quite opposite. What the hormones do, they allow you to have more energy and strength and recover faster so you can do more. So taking testosterone, for example, or in my case, I also take estradiol and progesterone, taking these hormones will not do the work unless I do.
Right.
And some women might find it that they will gain some weight, which the weight sometimes is just water regulation fluctuation. And if they don't use that, they don't drive the energy towards the gym and focusing on what they're eating, they're not going to see much results in the physical aspect of how they're looking.
Sure.
They might feel better. And that's why when somebody comes to see me, I say, I understand you want to lose X amount of weight and you want to perhaps see your abs or whatever the case may be that they have as aesthetic goals. I say the first goal that we're going to need to achieve is for you to have more energy. Because when you have more energy, you can do more.
Right. And you want to do more.
And you want to do more. And that's why I find it important too. If somebody comes in and they say, I haven't been to the gym in so long, but I need to lose weight and I need to feel better, I will never advocate for you can lose weight without going to the gym. I just can't. That would be immorally wrong for me because there are so many benefits that come with the gym, your bone density, muscle mass, mobility, and the therapy itself too that will help so much in life. But I would say, okay, I'll give you very little goals and perhaps we're going to start only with the food and perhaps introduce more food. You might see the fluctuation on your weight. You might gain a little bit. We're going to introduce a lot of good nutraceuticals. We're going to increase some of your vitamin, B complex, perhaps give you some B12 or analyze a little bit more of the supplements that you're going to take and really give you a lot of food, nutritional food, so you can have more energy. And then maybe next month we're going to start going to the gym.
Yep.
Because if I tell them you have to go to the gym 4 times a week and they feel like crap,
they're not going to do it. Yeah.
They're not going to do it.
Yeah, you'll set them up for failure. And it just has to be baby steps. So I try to tell the women too, like everything has to be in a marathon mindset. Mm-hmm. Everything has to be in a marathon mindset. But if you keep making positive forward movement every day, you're going to cross the finish line. Mm-hmm. But you have to be patient with yourself.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And then form a community. So I read a book a couple of years ago, and there's one big point that I took from this book that we are the average of the top 5 people that we either spend the most time with, talk to, hang out. So what I've also learned in life that I had to upgrade and change my circle. Mm-hmm. Because if anybody that's listening to this right now, I want you to stop and think, who are your top 5 people? Well, if they're doing things that aren't in alignment with what you want out of life, you have to change your circle.
Mm-hmm. I agree. 100%.
So
it goes the same with what we were saying about dating somebody who's not in the fitness, he doesn't need to be a bodybuilder, doesn't need to be a crazy athlete, but somebody who has fitness as a priority as well.
Right. So that he understands that, and you want your partner to, so when I say to him, hey, I'm going to go to the gym, I want him to support me because he knows that is an important aspect of my life. I don't want to be, I don't want to be shamed for wanting to take care of myself.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you feel that previous relationships were they ever jealous of you going to the gym?
I don't know if jealousy is maybe the right word, but I think a lack of understanding because it probably wasn't something that was a priority to them. So they didn't have the understanding of...
Maybe that was a little wrong. Not jealous, but potentially worried about you being there.
Sure, of course.
You know what I mean? Away from him and...
Sure, of course. Because as you know, guys are going to look.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But with my partner or the relationship that I'm, going to have, that partner needs to understand that I can't control anyone else's actions or movements or talk to me, but I control myself, right? I control my response. I control how much engagement I allow in the gym. Right. Mm-hmm. So, and I think there is still some of that etiquette where men kind of know, they are supposed to really leave us alone. There is this overall understanding, but they're gonna look, they're gonna maybe somehow come up and say something, or, hey, I saw you do that, great workout or whatever. But, and that's just something about having a partner that you can trust and there's a mutual respect and right. Or, hey, come with me. That's even better. Let's go together.
Yes,
right.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
I think that at least in my industry, I see a lot of respect for what I do. Not everyone. I mean, unfortunately, I still it's incredible the amount of comments sometimes I get on my pictures because they're still puzzled with the idea of a woman having so much muscles. But the majority of people that I pay attention to, everybody else, those comments, they don't really faze me anymore.
Right.
So, but people who I have in my corner, they support me so much. And even the ones that I just see on, on a weekly basis at the gym, I see so much respect rather than looking and being like, oh, wow, hey. It's like, holy crap,
right.
Good for you.
Right.
Oh, you're looking amazing. When is your next show? What's going on?
Sure.
And it's that respect of what you're doing and kind of asking, also, which I find is so interesting, is asking for advice.
Sure. Yep.
And I find it so cool when a guy comes up and say, like, what are you doing for your back? What are you doing for your quads? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. Or asking for a spot. Can you spot me? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I can. Yeah. But again, that's because they have that understanding that, they know what it takes to
do the work.
Yeah.
So what, do you have a lot of girlfriends that are in the same journey or not?
Yeah, so actually, just this last year, I started at a new gym, and so I've got about 6 or 8 I would consider pretty close, like-minded women, and we're all just there, and we're just
Clapping for each other.
just support, work out, do things together. I started doing a sled, so this year my goal was to kind of tap into some new equipment that maybe I normally would shy away from. So I'm really wanting to get more comfortable, getting uncomfortable. So like pushing the sled, doing different things with that. So a couple days a week, we'll get our little girls together and we do it together. Mm-hmm. We'll all take turns on the sled, load the plates, see what we can do, and just, again. And it's just like with anything, when you've got people supporting you, acknowledging you, it's easier to get out of bed in the morning. You have people that are depending on you. Yeah. And likewise. Yeah. Right. So yeah, I've developed about 6 or 8 really good girlfriends at this gym, and we just, we're just there to just,
clapping.
Yeah.
I do recall you sharing with me one time that you had some situations where you had your food with you and people would kind of comment and say like, oh, you're still on a diet, or do you have different groups of friends that are not in the fitness industry or fitness journey? Do you still hear those jokes sometimes?
No,
or
not so much.
They get it now.
They get it.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, there were some that were really, and again, about your average of the 5. So again, there are some friends that I've just have really just let go to the wayside because they weren't understanding. And it was almost like a jealousy and insecurity. So they would make some kind of like little snide comments. And again, you're not going to make me feel bad because I make the decision to show up every day for myself. Mm-hmm. And if you can't be on that bandwagon with me, then we probably just aren't going to be friends. And it's really hard to kind of come to that understanding in your life, right? But everything is a season, a reason. Like whatever friends I maybe had 10, 15 years ago that aren't now, that's okay. I needed them at that time to serve that purpose. Mm-hmm. But as you grow and somewhat elevate and change in life, that's all going to change too. And you just have to be okay with that. Mm-hmm. I love that. And like what you said, so another one of the books I read, we have to understand that it's not our business what anybody thinks of us. Like it's just not our business, mm-hmm. right? Because it shouldn't affect us. If Joe Blow on the machine wants to talk behind my back or be catty, that's okay. Like that's not going to impact me. That's so not meaningful to me. So we have to be okay with, not worrying about what other people
say.
Think of us. Yeah.
When I first started bodybuilding, I had somebody that I looked up to. I still look up to her. She is a female bodybuilder. Her name is Denise Mazzino. And I met her in a gym in California, in North Hollywood. And I remember when she walked in the gym, I was like, oh my God, who is this woman? Anyway, we became friends. She took me to her house to do some posing lessons because I told her I wanted to compete. So she said, oh, show me what you got. I knew nothing. I'm going to show you a video after. So you're going to be like, oh, that's cute. But she was also a mentor to me. And she wrote it down a few things on a piece of paper. And she asked me to check the box before I started my journey in bodybuilding. And I remember that was one of the things that she mentioned on the paper that said something. Are you going to be okay with doing things outside the norm? And are you ready for that? And understand that what you're doing, it's nobody else's business. And I think what she meant to say was kind of the criticism that now we understand as women bodybuilders, which a lot of people, I think, outside from our group don't really see. And I remember also showing a picture to my mom, and I said, Mom, so this is what happens, because I don't think she really understood. So there was a picture of a obese woman on Facebook, and everybody on the comments were like, you're beautiful the way you are, go girl, or accept who you are. And then there was a picture of a female bodybuilder. Ew, that's disgusting. She has a lot of muscles. She looks like a dude. She acts like a dude. And I'm like, well, we're supposed to love ourselves, right? So what's going on here? So I don't think that a lot of people understand what happens out there, but she knew that because she lived the bodybuilding lifestyle for so long. And I didn't quite understand what she said, but in my mind I was like, I don't care what people say. Yeah, checked. But when I checked all of those things, then that's when she said, okay, so you're ready. But again, going back to that particular box, I didn't understand until I started to really live, the lifestyle. But I don't really focus on that. And I still see some of my friends engaging in some comments and responding some comments on social media. And I find it kind of sad because they take the time of their day to argue with somebody that doesn't matter.
Right.
It's so long ago for me in my mind that I don't pay attention at all. But I like to put it out there because for any women, especially now we were talking about general fitness and being healthy, but any women out there that are thinking about competing in bodybuilding, that's one of the things that they're going to have to check the box.
Yep.
And be okay with.
You have to be totally okay with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And be fine with that.
Yep.
And as long as you are around the people that support you, that's all that matters.
Yep. And my thing is, if I can wake up every day and look in the mirror and be happy with what I see, that's all that matters. Because we really are we're the drivers of this ship, which we call life. It's up to us. We're the captain, right? So if you want something better and you have goals, then, why not? Right. And the people that don't understand it, then again, those really aren't your people. Yeah. If you're not getting the support and, someone's starting to intentionally sabotage you, bring you food that someone drops off a big nasty cake, which is not, whatever you're trying to do. Well, that's just them probably not okay with them. So, misery loves company.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, and I say this because there are people out there that don't like the look, the muscular woman, and that's okay.
It's okay.
I don't go and I think that, they are being insecure with themselves. No, they just don't like muscular women, and that's fine.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about is the ones that are actually really getting out of their way to say something about it. If you don't like it, hey, just stay in your lane, But now, we were talking a lot about the gym and going to the gym. Now, let's talk a little bit about food. What have you learned?
Yeah, so important. Yeah.
During your journey?
Yes.
About food.
So that is at least 80% of getting the results, feeling good, is what we feed our bodies. So again, with you, coming, getting the nutritional, and I come to see you once a month because for me, it's an accountability.
Right.
I need to stay on track. I want to continue to get educated and learn about what I need to tweak, what I don't. for all the reasons that I'm just, because I'm health conscious and I'm trying to, do some fitness goals. So coming to you, getting nutritional information, again, when you don't know, you have to be okay with seeking out the resources and asking the questions. So, but the nutrition has just opened my mind immensely on how, yes, the gym's important, walking, all the other, but really the food, it's a huge chunk of the results that are going to take place.
Now, a question that I think a lot of women would say yes, but hopefully you won't. But let's see. I want you to be honest. Are you scared of carbs?
No, I'm not scared of carbs anymore. There was times
Good.
But now I understand.
This is one thing that I wanted to teach you. I think
yes. So now it's that, again, for the muscles to grow and for me to have the endurance and the stamina on the days that I'm doing intense, I have to have the pre and the post carb.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So that was a big, because again, we're, through the years of whatever our journeys are, there's certain things that have been drilled in our head that are no. And it really comes about moderation,
right?
And we don't have to be perfect. It's about consistency. It's about discipline. And you have to give yourself time. It takes about a good 3 weeks. If you're eating kind of bad, per se, it takes 3 weeks for your palate and your body to kind of adapt to that. So we can't expect things, overnight.
Yeah.
But no, carbs are definitely not the enemy, but it's choosing the right ones and the quantity size. Yeah.
That's something that I love listening to podcasts and reading new books on so many different diets because I have so many different people that come here. So if somebody comes here and they're vegan, that's not necessarily what I preach, but I'm going to work with the person. If that's what they're set and that's religious, whatever the case may be, so be it. So I needed to understand a little bit about everything. Yesterday, I was listening to a podcast on the ketogenic diet, which I have a lot of experience myself because I was on it for almost 8 years, going in and out of ketosis very, very randomly throughout the year. It was not good for me, but I needed to test it myself. And at the time, it was good in a sense because I was going to school, so I wasn't really hungry because I was eating more protein and fats. So I didn't have really spikes of insulin. So going to school and having hours without food for me was perfect. Now, for me, Amanda, as an athlete in bodybuilding, no way. But with that being said, the podcast yesterday was about mental health. And this woman was talking about how ketogenic diet helped a lot of people with mental health. Now, there was an interesting question that was asked to her. They asked, so do you believe that it was the ketogenic diet itself or it was the reduction of the junk that person was eating and overall calories? She said, well, great question. That study was never done. So, okay. It's different than telling somebody, okay, so all that you should be eating is protein and a lot of fats and cut all the carbs, or just take away the soda every day. If you want to eat a little bit of potatoes, you can put a little bit of salt and get your chicken with it and maybe some, veggies along with it. It's different than cutting completely a micronutrient. So, and it's also a tool, and I understand that, and I respect her point of view because she did have a lot of success with people that were on 5+ medications for mental illness, which is actually very common.
Sure.
And she was very successful to say that 28 out of the 32 patients on her studies were able to reduce the amount of medication and feel much better. So I respect that a lot. But, and so I see the ketogenic diet being a tool for a particular situation. And for example, if somebody's a full-on diabetic and having a lot of issues with, over diabetes or being pre-diabetic, we can use that as a tool too. But as a lifestyle,
it's hard to maintain.
It's hard to maintain.
Yeah.
It's hard to maintain. Now, it's difficult for me to say, if I were to write an article, if I were to be set on one type of diet here in the clinic and say, you're going to do the keto, everybody's going to do keto. But I have no idea what's going on in their blood work. I have no idea of really their goals. I just kind of met them for 5 minutes. Technically, what people do when they look for diets online, everybody's different. So, for example, for you, I would never put you on a ketogenic diet. You're so active. You want to gain more muscle, you told me. You love to lift weights. You're going to need carbohydrates to support your training.
Correct.
You also do a lot of physical work at your job. I can never take the carbs away.
Right.
So everybody's different. And I think that it's very important for people, like you said, and you mentioned so many times, and I love that you said that, go seek help.
Ask questions.
Ask questions.
Yeah.
And interview the person that is actually helping you too, because if a person is really set to one particular diet, you go like, okay, so you didn't really ask me the right questions. You didn't ask to see my blood work. You didn't ask me if I had any food sensitivity. You didn't potentially told me that we could do more in-depth work exams. So, for example, we have a DNA test now here in the clinic, and it's fantastic because through the DNA test, it's going to show me what things really work for your DNA. So, for example, mom and dad have good and good. What can you eat to support those genes? And then mom has good, dad has bad. So what you're going to avoid to not stamp that genes to make it worse.
Sure.
And when I looked at my results, they were completely the opposite of what I was doing for 8 years, because it shows that I do really well with carbohydrates. And there were a lot of supplements that I was taking that great that I was taking, but I wasn't taking what I needed the most, which was a methylated B complex. It was on my plan from my fiance, but I wasn't paying attention. And there were so many other things that I had to take that I wasn't taking. So having somebody to have all these tools.
Right. To make a customized individual plan. And again, it's based on your goals too. Whenever it comes, So no, the nutrition piece it's been honestly the game changer for me, the nutrition. And just constantly educating. And our bodies change too. So as we have those changes, we have to adapt and add something, take something away based on, the body fat analysis and then the labs.
Yeah. So. And that's one thing that I think you can see too, what we do here. You have the weight that you see it on your scale, but then you come here and you do an in-body and you see where the weight is actually allocated. Is it just water retention or muscle mass or body fat? And it helps, right?
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And then again, for me, it's a great accountability tool, So these are and again, to invest in yourself, right? Mm-hmm. Make the investment.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, before I want to mention a few things that I ask you to take to that I find is so important for your journey. Now, having such a busy work schedule too, how is your schedule with the gym?
Yeah. So I'm that 4 a.m. Yeah. But once again, because my friends are like, some of my friends, I don't know how you do it. Well, again, once you get acclimated, your body is ready to go. But you got to get good sleep. Mm-hmm. But then I like to feel, because my work day is very unpredictable. So I don't know if I'm going to get done at 3 o'clock or I'm going to get done at 8 o'clock. And at the end of the day, typically I'm exhausted. So for me, at the end of the day, gym is not good. So I love to get up and just start my day and already feel accomplished. I've went to the gym, I've checked that box, and now I can focus on my job and taking care of, my house.
So you go 4 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
Usually. How many times a week?
Usually 5 to 6, kind of depending.
Okay. How many meals do you have per day?
So usually 6.
6?
Yeah.
Good.
So the thing, you have to learn to eat. Yeah. You have to learn to eat, and you really have to just stay off the scale.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, we are pre-programmed for certain things. Well, when you're building muscle, the weight is going to go up, but yet you're lean, you're losing the body fat, you're gaining muscle. So staying off the scale and then just feeding the body the right food and not being afraid to eat, but it's eating the right stuff.
Yeah. Now, with the amount of food that you're eating, which is 6 meals, just like myself, I always like to support the digestion too, because it's important, especially if a person is eating so much and they were not before, which is funny because I see that happening a lot here when people come in and they can't lose weight, and it's not necessarily because they're overeating. They're not really eating much, but then when they eat, they just eat whatever. right? So with all the amount of protein that I give you for your plan, I ask you to take Good Morning.
Yes.
Do you like the flavor?
I love the
Do you
flavor.
see the difference?
Yes.
Big difference, right?
Yes.
So it's a combination of lime juice, aloe vera, L-glutamine, which is fantastic. So it really helps with digestion. I think that the majority of the patients here take it.
Yeah.
And everybody who works here in the clinic take it too. It's by far one of the supplements that I'm constantly reordering because people love it so much.
Yes, it's great. And it's also that's kind of my I also take that before I go work out. So that's my first thing in the morning. You know, that's before I have my coffee or anything else. That's what I start with.
Perfect.
Digestion, pre-workout.
Is it and you have the orange flavor?
Yeah, yes. Orange by far is the best. I've had the berry. The berry's okay, but it's like Tang.
Yeah.
It's like that orange
That's
dream
a lot of
still
people tell
Tang.
me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good.
That's great. Aminotor is essential amino acids.
Yes.
I like to add to people who don't really have the opportunity to eat too much throughout the day. I really want to make sure that they are consuming all those amino acids to build muscle. If you are eating a good amount of animal protein. Usually you're good. But even that, why not? Why not make it even better, right? So, and they have great flavors too. Fiber Plus is fantastic because, again, you're going to have to use the bathroom.
Yep.
Eating so much protein, making sure that you're constant. You don't have any problems with that?
None.
Okay.
None.
That's great.
No.
That's great. Because I think that it's the same thing. People don't really understand how bad dehydration and constipation feels.
Yes.
And they don't really associate, it's like the same thing when they think about gut health. They think that is all, okay, if I ask them, do you think your digestion is good? They go, yeah, I go to the bathroom and I don't feel bloated. But digestion issues can also be translated into mood swings, depression, fatigue, issues with your skin, hair loss. And people don't associate that with digestion, right? So it's the same. So if constipation, especially for people right now who are on the semaglutide, the peptide, the medication for weight loss, I always suggest them to take fiber. They have to. Number one, they still have to eat. They still have to eat at least, I would say, 3 meals a day with some protein so they don't lose a lot of muscle mass. The muscle mass will lose a little bit, and that's kind of normal because if they are overweight, it's going to be kind of a ratio of both things kind of,
Fat and
muscle. But we can control that by doing resistant training and eating protein. And if they have difficulty in eating meals, then I give them mostly the shakes, and I make the shakes somewhat fun and, ask them to add some avocado or some almond butter, whatever they like to give a little bit more nutritional, and then the fiber. And then, have you tried Professor Nuts?
I haven't tried that one.
I really want you to try it. I'm gonna give you this.
Okay.
So it's basically just it's a nut butter,
High protein.
but it has a lot of fiber.
Ah, okay.
So your body doesn't technically digest it all. So if you look at the content here, the nutritional content is only 40 calories per serving, and it's 32 grams. In this 40.
Oh, wow. Okay. Good.
It's a good amount. So a lot of fiber, like I said, too. And protein is 8.9 grams. Do you like cinnamon?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
This will be great. So I buy that. I buy those flavored egg whites. It comes in so I have the vanilla. So you make like a pancake, but it's all
muscle egg?
Muscle egg.
Yes.
So good. So this would be wonderful on top of the muscle egg.
We make so many great recipes at home. We have a protein ice cream. We have protein pancakes. We do a lot of fun stuff with our rice cakes too. So rice cakes, we put some we put some protein on top because I make my protein and I mix a really little water and it becomes like a cake batter.
Yep.
So I put on top of my rice cake and then I put Professor Nuts on top. It's delicious.
Delicious.
And then I put Professor Nuts on top of my protein ice cream and then on top of my pancakes. So it's always something very yummy.
Yes.
That I kind of my brain is like, oh, okay.
Getting a treat. Yeah.
Yes.
So my thing was, so I used to be a huge, before, I got my diet straightened around, I wanted ice cream every night. I would eat it, ice cream every night. Well, that's not good for you. I mean, I would put on weight, and my visceral fat was up at one point really high. So I found, still every night before I go to bed, I do Greek yogurt with a scoop of the vanilla protein powder. And then at Sam's, they have these things called keto clusters, and it's all this healthy nut, dark chocolate. Just crumble that in there. So you have the keto clusters, your protein powder, and Greek yogurt, and it's like having your ice cream every night. So the thing is, and I never feel deprived. There's so many ways to make the healthy food. It's still yummy. It's good. I look forward to that at night.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But so much healthier than the ice cream.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, Amy, before we go, I would love to ask you this question. So what would be you gave so many great advice already, but what would be your advice for somebody that's just starting right now? A woman who is thinking about checking her hormones and thinking about seeking some help for diet. So what would be, or going to the gym, what would be your advice?
Yeah, so I think that you have to do your research, and then you have to go in and really get a full consult. Because there are things sometimes that we have to remember that there's other avenues outside of the Western medicine. So, for example, I had come in maybe 2 years ago, and I had this and this and this. Well, my thyroid function was normal, but Carrie said, let's try a small dose of the actual Armor thyroid. And again, it was a game changer.
I take that. I love it.
So it's just thinking out of the box, but you have to take the first step to seek the consultation and then be able to be in a comfortable surrounding environment where you can share. Because, the thing with women, every time we have something, well, it's because we're crazy, right?
Yes.
But we're not. Our body's changing. I mean, we are such a superior species. We're the only ones that can bear and have children. I mean, there's so many wonderful components about us. So for anybody that's just wanting something different, again, it's just do your research, seek a consult, get someplace that you're comfortable, and just get the advice, get the education. There's resources out there for everybody, and then really think about, your top 5, because it's important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You need your community. You need that. Women need that support and the tribe.
Yeah, the tribe. I love the tribe. I think that's the message. Find your tribe.
Find your tribe.
And I feel that not only your friends become your tribe, but then also the clinic where you go to, the gym that you go to.
Yes.
Your closest friends and potentially even family members that become closer too. So whatever it is, I like that. Find your tribe and take care of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And don't ever be ashamed or that you just shouldn't show up for yourself. You should always show up for yourself. Always.
Always. I love
So
that.
the thing is, people are watching. So I have 2 children, and through my 10 years of this journey, I didn't realize the impact that I had on my children. Till now, they'll say things like, they think I'm a superhero. And, I'm not. I'm a nobody. I'm this little girl from Midwest, and, there's just nothing special about me, right? But just my children have, watched me and seen me. So you're always making an impact on people that you probably don't realize at the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
So now it motivates them that they want to be better humans. They want to take care of themselves. They understand the impact of, looking good, feeling good, having energy. I'm going to be a grandma in April. I'm going to have all this wonderful energy to take care of my granddaughter.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So I love what you said. Just before we go, I want to really emphasize that your parents really give you so much of inspiration to be, and it's interesting because parents, they think that they teach kids by telling them what to do. But all that I think of is what my mom and my dad did and the impact of what they did. And that's really what I remember. I remember my mom waking up really early, opening the windows and saying, good morning, and starting her day and not stopping until 8, 9 p.m., never complaining, always on the go. My dad always watching Rambo and playing boxing and being active. Right now, he's 75 years old and he squats like better than a 25-year-old at a gym, and he sends me pictures of his supplements. He sends me pictures of his food, and of course, I ask him, "When was the last time you did blood work?" That I don't even remember. Haven't been to the doctor in like 30 years. I'm like, that okay, that's too much. You have to kind of do your annual exam check-in, but they are so blessed in this culture that they were not given a lot of fast foods or options like Americans do. So my mom with 73, my dad 75, they look and act like they are 50, but that's because they eat things from the backyard and they go to the local butcher, and that's the way that they
and
live
they're
their
active.
lives.
And again, they're active. So like you said, it's not so much what we're teaching our children verbally. It's like what they're observing. It's what we're doing. It's our actions that they're actually, learning. And
that's how I remember. I remember them that way. And that's how I am right now.
Yeah, of course.
I wake up early and I'm screaming in the house and I'm waking everybody up. My fiance, he's not a morning person. But but anyway, I'm really happy to have you here, and I'm so glad that we did this, and I think it's gonna motivate and inspire a lot of people out there, women and men.
Yes.
I want to share this episode with everybody that I know that are still kind of halfway there trying to get into, and have the same energy that you do.
Mm-hmm. And you just got to do it. Just jump in with, what's the worst that happens, right?
Yeah.
So no, I'm thankful for the clinic. I'm thankful for you. Thankful to Carrie. And it's just, again, I knew what I wanted, but I wasn't sure how to get there for all the steps. So you guys have really kept me dialed in, and I feel great. So my message is that I want to inspire other women to seek that higher elevation. Seek the higher elevation.
That's awesome. Now we're gonna work out.
Yes, we are. She's gonna kill me.
All right, thank you guys.
Okay.